We're here in Soho for an anthology of films. It's about 9 films. And one of the films is Before You Jump the Broom by Nigerian filmmaker Emeka Mbadiwe. And it's great for people coming out to actually show their support. And a lot of times when people get their start, sometimes people are hesitant to show their support. But I really enjoy showing the support. And there's a number of other people who want to show their support too. And it is really fun to be able to do that. So here's just the entryway to like the theater where they're going to be showing the anthology of short films. But it is really quaint. And in New York, you always have a lot of artistic people. But artists, before they become successful, it's really important to kind of show up. Of course, maybe later on they become really successful. And maybe they'll remember, maybe they won't remember. But I think it's really great when you're able to just show your little sense of support before they become famous or while they become famous. So as I mentioned, it's going to be the short film Before You Jump the Broom by Emeka Mbadiwe. So we'll be seeing more of this within a little bit later, for our other little shorts that I'm going to be showing during this filming. This is the short film premiere of Before You Jump the Broom by Nigerian filmmaker and producer Emeka Mbadiwe. So it's really nice. Like here in Soho, they're having this great premiere with about 6 different films, and you can see how it's so nice with all the different old world charm. And it's really nice that they're able to do this. And it's really innovative of him to have this done here just to show it. This is the way people get their start. And at first it seems a little bit difficult once you build up the momentum. But here it's going to be very interesting. Like for him as he shows the film and has the short film, you can see people getting ready. This is very early in the production. There are people getting ready for the short film premiere. It's kind of fun, it's a lot of people who know the filmmaker who want to take part and just to show their support. You can see people really getting into the Hollywood style. You can see everyone getting ready here. Of course, hot day in July in New York, but everyone's here to show their support. You can see this theater, a very nice sized theater in the Soho district of New York. And this is where we're going to have 9 films being shown. And it's going to be really interesting seeing these starting artists show their different films. And you can see how it's not so crowded yet, but very soon it's going to get more crowded. And that's really nice that people in New York are very eager to show their support for the various artists that are starting. And one of the films is going to be by the Nigerian artist, as I mentioned earlier. And but it's fun. It's really, really fun participating and in showing your support to the various people who are putting their effort forward.
Hey, how you guys? You guys are here today at the premiere of my new short film called Before You Jump the Broom. This is what it's all about. We've been planning for the past months, and now we're here, all willing to celebrate.
It must have been fun, getting everyone organized, and I think that's a big effort too. Motivating everyone, trying to get everyone here at the same time, and organizing the different people who contributed to the films. Because my understanding is it's 9 films and a great anthology of 9 films, including your Jump the Broom film and a few other films that you created. Can you talk a little bit more about Jump the Broom and some of the other films that you did?
Well, Jump the Broom in particular is a film about a woman who hires someone else to kind of go and spy to investigate her fiance to see if he's fit for marriage. So a lot of little twists going on in there, just showing people that they need to take some precaution before they make that next step.
But it must be cool, getting ideas for the various short films and being creative. And it's it's so cool when someone develops their ideas, produces their own film. And so where do you get your ideas from?
Ideas can come from anywhere. From me watching a movie, from me walking down the block, from me eating some food. They just come from out of anywhere at all times.
So now here's an anthology of 9 films, but what are your longer term goals? Because I'm sure everyone has ambition.
Yes.
What are your ambitions?
Long-term goal is to produce bigger films on a bigger scale, get them out in the theaters around the world, internationally, so everybody in the world, around the world can enjoy everything that I'm doing.
That's great. Emeka, the world is going to be watching you, so we're going to be talking with you later after the showing is done, just to hear more about what your thoughts are. So we'll be speaking with you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
We're here with Laurel Chiten at this anthology of 9 films, and she actually has 2 films in it, or 2 shorts in it. And so, Laurel, tell us a little bit more about like your background and how you got involved with like having 2 films in this anthology of 9 films.
Well, what I really am is I'm a feature length. I make feature length documentary films. But what happened is Oliver Sacks, who many people know, my very first documentary was called Twitch and Shout. And that is about people with Tourette's syndrome. And Oliver was one of the first people I contacted because I read a magazine article he wrote in Life magazine. And so this was back to 1989, and I went to his home in City Island, and he invited me over, and then he told me about his photographer named Lowell Handler. So we made that film, Twitch and Shout. It took 5 years, been done. I've been made many films since.
Wow.
And then Oliver died, and Lowell and I reconnected.
But it's amazing though, like just putting these different
Well, let me just
things.
finish with this.
Okay.
What brought me to here.
Okay.
So then Lowell and I reconnected when Oliver died, and we had dinner. And we over a glass of wine, he says, I have all these photographs, because he traveled with Oliver, that I took. And then we ended up doing an interview with him, and I put all the photographs together, and that's what my travels with Oliver is. It was just a memorial to Oliver.
Well, but I'm sure. And then what about like Just One Drop? I know that's a trailer, but can you tell us a little bit about that? Because like it's always interesting seeing what's the background.
Well, that's a film that I've been working on almost 7-8 years, and it's about the most controversial form of medicine ever invented.
The most controversial what?
Form of medicine ever
Oh,
invented.
and what is that?
Homeopathy.
Really?
People don't know what it is and why it's so controversial. Very, very controversial.
But it must be interesting. Like, how did you hear about this anthology, and like, what were your thoughts about getting involved with putting like 2 of your works into this anthology of 9 shorts that are here?
Is it 9? I thought it was 6.
It's but I believe it's it's 9. So
I was on a Facebook page here. I was actually looking for crew for something, and when I went on the Facebook film page for New York, I saw this guy saying, I need 2 more films. And the Oliver piece has been sitting there. I haven't put it out in the world yet, so I said this is a good place to launch it.
Wow,
so
that's
it's sort
great.
of a special screening. I'm not.
it's amazing that you've been in the film business for like a number of decades, and so that must be so fascinating on your part. How did you get your start, and where do you want to go?
No, not how. Why did I get my?
Why did you get your start?
I have a thing about film. My first piece was a fiction film, but how I got into documentary is I had a story to tell. Didn't know it was going to take 5 years. Thought it was going to be done in 1 year. And it's kind of like an addiction. Every documentary filmmaker I know, they finish the film, they go, never again, never again.
And then they do it again.
And it's an addiction. You forget, you get amnesia, it's like you can't help yourself, and you fall in love, and you got to do it all over again.
Well,
and they're all torture.
That's great, and I think everyone looks forward to hearing more about your films and seeing your films. And Laurel, this is really great. It's wonderful hearing like a personal perspective of the film. Thank you for your time.
But to answer your question,
We're here with Danny Casale. Like there was an anthology of about 7 films, 9 films today, and he had a short film called Bye Bye Pumpkin. Danny, can you tell us a little bit more about this film? It was really impressive, but I want to hear from you.
Yeah, well, Bye Bye Pumpkin is kind of a project that I took on over my winter break. I'm a college student. It was supposed to be much shorter than it originally is currently. It's 20 minutes long. Definitely wanted to make a crime drama, very Tarantino-esque. So I wrote a few scenes and came out very nice. I'm like, wow, I could expand on this. So I actually wrote in a few more scenes and came out to the 20-minute piece that it is today.
What inspired you though? I mean, like it seemed like it was a great drama, and I was thinking like Angel Heart, and I know other people said James Dean, but it was so inspirational seeing that. It was like very kind of like edge of your seat kind of film.
Right. No, it's great to hear. I've gotten a lot of James Dean. I've gotten a lot of De Niro. I just got Reservoir Dogs, which is definitely the field I'm going for. Those are some of my main inspirations in the film industry. Also, Tarantino. The whole handling of the briefcase in the film. That was very Tarantino-esque.
You know, and it was so interesting. Like everyone was always asking you at the Q&A session, like what was in the briefcase, and it was kind of fun the way you said it really didn't matter what was in the briefcase.
Right.
So, like, you know, from that perspective, how did you get inspired to kind of do everything, like to put everything down? And you wrote it all yourself?
I wrote it all myself. Something really infatuated me with the idea of having this central object in the movie that the audience grew to be so connected to and put in such a high priority. You know, they want to know what's in it, and then in the end you find out that maybe it didn't matter so much in the end. And it seems like it worked out well in that sense.
You're in between classes or in between years right now.
Yes.
So how many more years do you have before you become famous? Before the school frees you to become famous for the rest of your life?
Well, I just wrapped up my sophomore year at Pace University. I mean, if fame introduces itself into my life before I graduate, I will take it with open arms. If not, hopefully as soon as I graduate, I'll get myself onto something great.
And is this your first short film, or do you have other short films that you've done?
I've been making little home movies my whole life, but I've been referring to this piece as the first official short film for me.
And so, like, what other goals do you have? I mean, you know, a lot of times people who are very entrepreneurial have multiple goals. You know, filmmaking, great. Like, are you doing writing as a hobby? Are you doing photography as a hobby? What other things are interesting you?
Well, Bye Bye Pumpkin, I have a short-term goal of just getting this as many film festivals as possible. You know, my main goal as an artist to have this be seen by as many eyeballs as humanly possible. Long-term for my career, really just trying. I mean, writing is not my forte. I think of myself more as a cinematographer, but I'm really spending all this time to get as much experience as I could get and see what kind of leads me to in this path.
Like when people, I'm going to attach like the link, but I'm sure there'll be many people who'll be very interested in hearing more about Danny Casale and his films and his future prospects. And so maybe you can kind of help advertise yourself right now.
Absolutely, I will take that. Don't have an official website yet, that's still in the works, but I'm very much active on my Facebook fan page, facebook.com/TheDannyCasale. You know, that's where I post all my main happenings, all my main trailers, pieces, and it kind of keeps you up to date with what I'm up to as an artist.
You know, that's so cool, Danny, and I can see you as one of these future stars. You know, it just seems that way. So, everyone, you're seeing Danny Casale before he's famous. So very soon, I'm sure he will be famous. And just remember, world, you've seen Danny Casale before he's famous.
Remember that, world. Remember that. Thanks.